Hello and welcome back to another video of the Twilight Wars browser app series. In today's video I'm going to be going over update 1.12, the latest update for the Twilight Wars app. A few game components see their way into this update. They are all card related. Two are action cards that are not from the base game but actually from the codex. And then we also have one agenda from the base game, so we can see them here. We have insider information and play drives, which are both action cards. And then the agenda is the Minister of Commerce. So I will be getting into a demo later to show you these cards and how to use them. We also have some new features in this update. The biggest change out of the game is over in the sidebar here, we've replaced the Help tab with an FAQ. So previously the Help tab had links to our YouTube and Discord, but you can actually see these down here now at the bottom left. And if we actually go into the updates, if we actually go into the FAQ, you'll see we've began to compile a list of, well, what are frequently asked questions. If you do frequent our Discord, this will look familiar to you if you've ever visited the Bug Reports channel and taken a look at the pinned message there. These FAQs, what they do is they go over some common occurrences when people might be confused why the app has done something or skipped on a certain timing window. For example, this is a very common one, is why was I not asked to use my bombardment abilities at the start of an invasion? So you might think that this is a bug and that the game skipped you, but actually it's actually the Twilight Wars app optimizing ability rounds for you. So for example, if you don't have a War Sun and there's a PDS on the planet, then you can't bombard it. Another less obvious one is when the Conventions of War agenda is in play and the system is just cultural planets. So that's just the first example. I'm not going to go through all of these, but feel free to look them over on your own. At the bottom here is also another link to the Living Rules reference that the app follows, which is 1.3, as well as another link to our YouTube channel. Going back to the Updates tab, there's been a couple of UI improvements just in terms of aspect ratios for some components. We did make one change to one of the balanced maps for the Abandoned Mechatol map, so I'll just go into there and show you what exactly has changed. We got this suggestion from one of our users and we thought it made a lot of sense. So what happened, I'll zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So the systems in question that have been swapped is this empty space tile with this system here, the mirror system. They used to be in reverse order. And what we realized here was that basically when this system was on the edge here, there was this kind of 3 slots of no planet. So you had empty space, alpha wormhole, and basically it really gave this player here no incentive, or rather a very weak incentive, to go ahead and try to compete for this part of this player's slice down here, right? So this player could just go take these systems and it would cost this player like time and basically being inefficient, because they'd have to cross an empty space system to contest, whereas other players never really had that problem, so to speak. There's always a path where there were planets that you could just go straight through to another slice. So by swapping these two systems, that's the thought process here, that there's now a direct path to contest this slice where you can just move through systems of planets. So not a big change, not a big deal, but just it's very subtle. I know it probably won't affect many people in gameplay, but just something to point out, and I wanted to go over the rationale behind the suggestion and why we thought it was a good one and why we decided to go ahead and make that switch. But yeah, this is a good opportunity as a reminder that we're always open to new suggestions for making new preset maps as well as for editing current ones. There was one bug fix here with rolling dice. It wasn't game breaking, it was just kind of a weird state that you could get into, but I won't really go over that. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and hop into our demo game so I can show you the two new action cards as well as the new agenda. So the first card I want to go over is insider information, because it's actually an interesting new addition to the UI here and what happens. So first of all, what is insider trading? Well, after this is going to be during the ability round of an agenda phase. In specific, it's going to take place after an agenda is revealed. And what the user, assuming that this card goes through, is they're going to be able to look at the top card of the agenda deck. Now we're in this agenda phase right now, so in the after stage. So we'll go ahead and, just like any other action card, double click it, and then we'll confirm it. Now we're going to have to get the other players to just pass here to get the card to go through. And so once we pass and get out of this timing window, you're going to notice here, well, keep your eyes here on the agenda deck. And what you're going to notice is a little magnifying glass show up. And if you're really a keen observer, you'll notice also that these garbage bin icons, where you can click them to see the discard piles, we've moved them from the top right to the bottom right. And the reason for this is specifically because of the way that insider information works here. So going into the game log, insider information has gone through it, and when you click this magnifying glass, the deck is it's gonna kind of give the illusion that you're flipping the top card and you're looking at it. So if I click this, then I actually reveal what the top card is in its incentive program. You can still go ahead and access these buttons here, and you can toggle this card on and off. So you can see like the current agenda, but other players don't have this ability right now. So for example, going over to another player's tab, they can't see that. They have no access to that. Same with the third player in the game. And so it's just the player who resolved that action card, right? So that's why I said we move this down here so it doesn't cover the name of the top agenda when it gets revealed. Now you might be asking, well, how long does this last for? Well, it's always going to give you an opportunity to see it, because there could be cases where you're playing asynchronously, and if other players are passing while you're not there, you don't want this to go away. So you'll always have a chance. It's not just going to be Bob passes on casting votes and this is going to go away. It'll stay there until basically your next, you perform your next mechanic in the game, so to speak, when it comes to your turn. So you always get that opportunity. So that's how insider information works. Now, the other action card I want to demo here, as I just reload the state of the game. Just give me a moment. So I've gone back to the perform an action, because the other action card I want to demo here is a component action called plagiarize. So what does plagiarize do? Well, it's a component action where you can spend 5 influence, and what you're going to be able to do is select a non-faction technology that's owned by one of your neighbors, right? And then you'll be able to gain that technology. Now the wording here is pretty important. It's not research, so you don't have to meet prerequisites. And also, if you were playing as the necrovirus, you would gain that technology. You wouldn't gain tokens instead, right? because specifically the wording is gain, not research. So we're playing here as the Emirates of Hakan, and you'll notice here that I'm neighbors with the purple player. You can see here I have a cruiser, and I'm next adjacent to this system, right? So when I go ahead to double click plagiarize, we're going to be asked to spend 5 influence. So however we want to do this, up to us. If we spend less, say we only do 3 trade goods as 3 influence, it won't go through. We need to do at least 5. And now, before we go ahead and do that, let's take a look at the purple player's technologies, right? So the purple player has plasma scoring, anti-mass deflectors, gravity drive, and Magnus reactor. Now Magnus reactor is a faction technology, so we should not be able to see it come up as an option to gain. So the other choices are plasma scoring, anti-mass deflectors, and gravity drive, and we actually have anti-mass deflectors. So we should only be seeing 2 of our techs, of this player's techs, come up for us here in plasma scoring and gravity drive. So let's go ahead and do that again. So we'll do 2 from here, and maybe 3 trade goods. And then we'll be brought up to this screen where we can select, here's plasma scoring or gravity drive. Let's do gravity drive, and we'll click confirm. And then we'll get the final confirmation prompt, which will ask us to confirm what we're spending, as well as the technology we want to gain. Now when we confirm, we need the other players, of course, to pass. And once they pass, first of all, going into our technology deck, you'll see we have gained the gravity drive technology. And then in the game log, we can see the details here, as well as the cost summary, which is newish, a couple of updates ago. So that's plagiarize. Now, the last thing I want to show, but I'm not really going to demo, is just the final card that we've implemented here, which is the Agenda Minister of Commerce. So, pretty straightforward. You elect a player. The player gains the card. It's their law, and basically, whenever the owner of this card replenishes commodities, he's going to gain a trade good for each player that is his neighbor. So this will automatically happen, just like everything else that could conceivably be automated within the app. So there will be a log message when it happens, kind of like if you played the Clan of Sard, their scavenge faction ability. When they take a planet, you gain a trade good, and there is a game log for that, but you don't have to remember how to do it. There's the same idea here. Very easy to forget stuff like that, and part of the whole purpose of Twilight Wars is to automate these things that are easy to forget. So yeah, that'll happen for you. There's 2 spots that can happen. Basically, one is for trade strategy when replenishments can happen, and also there is harness energy action card when you activate a anomaly. So it's kind of a nice little synergy with that action card. So yeah, those are the new components, and that's the update. That's update 1.12. We hope you enjoy it. And yeah, if you're not already part of the Discord, I encourage you to join it, because that's where the majority of our feedback comes to. So if you're watching this video and you think you have some good suggestions for what you want to see in the next update or whatnot, that is a very good place to go and give feedback. A lot of people who give feedback end up seeing their suggestions get directly implemented into an update, maybe not right away, but in 1 or 2 in the future. And again, our links to our Discord, down here now, updated at the bottom left, as well as the YouTube channel. I encourage you to subscribe if you already haven't, so that way you can get videos like this as soon as they come out and get the most up-to-date info on what's new in the app. Otherwise, that's it for this video. We look forward to seeing you in the next one, and enjoy the rest of your day.